Hey everyone, so the next video in our fraction series, we're going to talk about dividing fractions. Where does that shortcut come from? Right? Maybe you've heard of it. A over B divided by C over D. Well, you take the second fraction and you flip it upside down and then you multiply. And how you multiply is you multiply the tops and you multiply the bottoms. Now, if you missed the videos before in the fraction series where we talk about why multiplication of fractions works the way it does and why A divided by B is just A times 1 over B, right? Why all division and all fractions is division, it's just 3 divided by 4. Why that could be thought of as multiplication, it's just 3 times a quarter. If you missed that, then watch those previous videos first. So, where does that division shortcut come from? Well, let's say we have our 3/4 divided by, say, 2/7. All right? Let's write that down in this way. 3 divided by 4, right? That's our 3/4 right there. Divided by 2/7. Okay? That's another way of writing it. And that equals that final answer that we're looking for. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this equation and we're going to multiply both sides by 2/7. And here's what happens. 3 times 1 over 4 times 2/7 divided by 2/7 equals our final answer times 2/7. And these 2/7 on the left side, they cancel out. Whatever 2 divided by 7 is, you're multiplying and you're dividing by it. Anything dividing by itself is 1. Multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything, so it cancels out. So what we have is 3 times 1 over 4 equals our final answer times 2 over 7. And now we're going to multiply both sides by 7. Throw a 7 here, throw a 7 here, and now on the right side, the 7's cancel out. So what do we have? We have 3 times 7 times 1 over 4 is our final answer times 2. And now we're going to divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and of course, our 2's cancel out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And now we have our final answer on one side of the equation again. But what do we have here? 3 times 7 times 1 over 4 times 1 over 2, or 3 times 7 times 1 over 4 times 2. Now if you compare that to our original question, if you remember it, it is up here. We have 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 7. 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 7. See, what we have here now is we can think of it. Remember, we can multiply in any way, right? We can think of it as 3 times 1 over 4 times 7 times 1 over 2. Or 3 over 4 times 7 over 2. Which is what will happen if you take this, turn it to a multiplication, and turn the second fraction upside down. You end up with that same answer, 35 over 8. That's where that division rule comes from. And it's much easier to derive once we see that any number divided by something else, you're just multiplying by 1 over that something else. With that, these rules become much easier to understand. They're not just made up rules, but they come from a logical deduction. Now what we'll do next is addition and subtraction of fractions with a different denominator. And we're going to use our multiplication and division rules to do that.